You know, you can see right there it's going to shut down pretty quickly.
You think?
And then now, look at, she might just get herself into a beautiful right. And that's the first kind of real traditional
here we go.
Pier bowl right. Look at that. Nice deep takeoff.
Just got to set a trim line here. Gets the trim line to 5. A lot of speed, some control. Nice turn.
That was pretty cool. I mean, she literally pulled out of that wave, saw that one, was able to paddle to it.
I thought she was going to be too late.
Yeah, it looked too late, but that's, I think, going to add to the score. There was a bit of dramatics there. I mean, the thing looked like it was going to break on her back, but pulled it off as pure as can be. Was one of the trends, too, is having that big, wide tail.
Well, and you know, honestly, guys like Michael Takayama as a shaper really brought back those thin, wide tails that helped lock in for nose rides like that.
Nice.
Mason on a Thomas surfboard. Thomas just a brilliant shaper out of Noosa, and his boards are prized. It's not like he doesn't make mass production on these boards.
I would think a lot of these longboard shapers
do. They're very, very special,
yeah. I mean, they're all most likely. There's probably some computer-shaped boards, models, right, that you use, but a lot of hand shapes, too.
Mostly hand shapes, yeah. I think, like, when you're talking about a 9.9, those are pretty hard to cut for a lot of machines.
A couple of 7s in her scoreline right now, too, but her wave selection has been so great in this heat.
And she's on yet another gem. Look at this glassy face. Gets all 10 toes over. Comes around that section. Stylish carve. I love her arms. Elbows pinned to her side. Hands out. Classic, traditional, beautiful longboard style. Even all the way to her fingertips. And we're back at it with Delpero. Veteran v rookie. France v USA,
look at that.
And that is a long nose ride.
Parked.
So long you can eat a sandwich up there. Endless summer.
That was the quote, huh? Good job.
Dude.
That was awesome. This is a great heat.
This is a heat.
This is very entertaining. Both these surfers obviously want it. And you know, you can bet for Edouard, who's been around the block, he does not want to be bested by a rookie. And for Chase Leader, I mean, you can just tell right when he stands up. I mean, there is some electricity with this kid.
A really nice wave for Troy, 5.07, and here's Kaniela. A nice upright soul arch 10, stepping back, and he's carving that one back through to the inside section. So that pier bowl right starting to make its presence.
I realized something, that watching and, you know, commentating and being a part of a day full of watching the world's best longboarders, my takeaway was it made me happy. It made me feel good. There's something about watching this form of surfing, watching a surfer like this just purely in his element and making it look so nice, that just makes you feel good to watch. And I'm happy that we get to see a full day of it again. And it wasn't always like that for me. I will say I was one of those surfers through the late 90s and into the early 2000s. I feel like that may have been a slightly awkward time in longboarding as well, but I ran a magazine called Transworld Surf.
When it comes to shaping a lot of his boards, having somebody that's as talented as a shortboarder like those guys over there.
Perching and holding it is JR. Nice water off the rail and that fading cutback. He's got a little low road to try to hunt down a potential perch. Nice 5 quickly. Steps on the float. And he's really loving these little wedging, cornering lefts right now in this heat, Pete.
Yeah, the goofy footer, a little advantage. You know, if you can get yourself far enough away from the pier.
Situation remains the same. Last to Lindsay is a throwaway score. Paddling into this one. Coming down to this for Mason Schremmer. Setting up some footwork. Gets to the backhand 5. She holds it for a moment there. Adjusts back to the tail. Nice cool cut back. Still hugging the pocket. This wave still counts even though you hear the horn sound. She will just roll into the beach, staying on her feet on her final wave. Did well there, just under pressure.
Oh, is Hono going to use priority? Oh, and she does. What a good play on that. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That's commentating. Wow. Wow.
I'm speechless.
That was deserving of about 4 or 5 wows.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about getting the job done. A little bit of defense at the beginning, taking the wave away, and then a ton of offense, Rosie, with some great lengthy nose rides.
Yeah, we'll throw out some more on Meta Piers because Hono she does take the words right out of your mouth. Just watching her kind of does render you just speechless.
Honolua, congratulations. That was a beautiful heat to watch unfold. What was your strategy heading into it?
Oh, I didn't really have one, honestly. Avalon's one of my best friends, and she's an incredible surfer. So I was definitely a little nervous, and she really made me try my heart out. So I'm thankful to her and stoked to get the win on that one.
Yeah, once you get the work done, you can kick out. You don't need to beach every single one of them, I agree. Fading this takeoff. Fades left, goes right, up to nose, hang the heels, walks back. Switch stance position, Kaniela Stewart right into the lip. Talk about a mixed plate. Check this out, Kaniela Stewart shows us how to go excellent here at the pier. Fades into that nose ride, Matt, and off to the races.
Yeah, so the judges making that point of critical nose rides. The first section of that was critical, and they're really liking his body posture as well. More action in that break, so lots of variety. And Taylor, a smooth nose ride, so critical before the section and stepping forward and back. Notice how he's surfing up and down the wave, using 3, 2, and 1, as I like to say, coming off the bottom of the trough and surfing through the midsection and using his feet. So you see he's at the top of the wave there, gets a 10, steps back in the middle of the wave right now, and he comes back around off the inside on that single fin and finishes clean.
Taylor Jensen, our heat leader, up for a nice quick bolt upright hood ornament 10. Pedals back, cross steps. Great spray. You could almost hear that spray coming off his 9/8 single fin as he walks back up for a 5 and walks back again into some rail carving and just looks at what seems to be Kai Ellis's flint board traveling in. That was incredible stuff, the wax head, because as he put that board on rail, you could just see he noticed that Kai's board was actually traveling on the same wave, and if he didn't switch planing edges, he probably would have had a collision with that board.
Absolutely.
So this is very interesting because Chloe's got priority. If she leaves this first one, Sophia is in position to take it, and there's a wave behind. So Chloe is going to get a wave, and Sophia should be able to answer back. Up and riding, Chloe Calmon from Rio de Janeiro. 4 steps to a beautiful opening 5. Walks back to the tail. Nice carving drop knee set up with elegance, with style, and with speed as she goes back up for a stretch 5 and pulls in for a tighter 5 and cross steps cleanly with 6 footsteps back to the tail as she just pumps her fists with joy and feels good about that. But I think Sophia might have the opportunity for a wave behind her. Chloe Calmon looking to replace that 2-0, might well replace her 5:07 and really put herself in a commanding situation with just under 9 minutes remaining.
Deep in the bowl, from behind the bowl actually, and he climbs high, patient, holding the nose ride through the section, and here goes again. See him redirecting, coming up. Now this turn here, instead of going for the nose ride, he steps back into this carve, almost loses it. So some real critical surfing there on the rail for Taylor, and trimming through in the middle of the board, carving it through the drop knee. So a bit of variety in the turning and setting up the inside, and he's not finished yet. So this is the longest wave we've seen of the event so far this morning. Gets the 10 and another variation of the drop knee carve and goes again. So multiple nose rides, turns. The judges are really looking for use of the whole board shank out back. Taylor though, 5 and 10, and here he goes to this high line. Wow, beautiful technical surfing from Taylor, driving in the middle of the board, showing complete control. Love this carve back into the pocket, and again, the rail was engaged the whole wave. There, the wave sucked out a little bit. We are seeing the tide come in, and the shore break grows with the higher tide. So it comes and it hits those little boils, redirects to the left. So that's why you see even Taylor.
Taking a look now at Kai Sallas on a bigger and better wave out behind. Flying on the nose right past Tony. That was a long locked-in hang 5. Now looking for that rail work. Full extension of that front arm as well to really commit to that turn. Sets him up once again for a 5 to 10 combination on the inside with a little lift out of the nose. Drives through that turn and looks for one more roller coaster finish over the section and stands very tall to give that statement.
Amazing surfing. I'm going to say almost excellent, Shannon.
He's chasing down a big score, and we've got Kai Sallas now up and riding. Kai with a score to drop as well from this wave during the break.
Long hang 5 as he comes into the bowl, and he gets a soul arch hang 10. A little foamy from that wave of Tony's before, but doesn't bother Kai, cutting that one back. And he got a, oh, he's going for another nose ride. So this one's stretching to the shore break and getting a little weird here, and he's carving it back up to the foam. So a lovely backup.
So, Josh, what do you think of this replay for our surfer in red?
Unbelievable. I was kind of watching Ben, but I saw when I looked up on the screen, I saw this drop knee whip driving in the pocket and then so low and extended out of the bottom turn with lots of speed. So this is a really, really good wave. That opening part, so exciting. And here, just keeping it together. Knows he's done some big maneuvers, so he's just got to stay calm in here. Finish it off nice and tidy. Big floater, air drops out of it, lays back a little bit, and then with that core strength, lifts himself up and rides up onto the dry sand.
So we've dropped a 4.17 and a 4.73 for Declan already. Where does this sit relative to those scores, Josh?
I think it's going to be higher. This is going to be his highest score. That drop knee carve out of the lip and then driving out of the bottom turn. It's really tidy, and then coming through. We haven't actually seen him come to this inside and really finish strong like this. Boom, up over the lip, drops out of it, lay back, and then gets up right on that dry sand. Look at this maneuver, Sam.
And the Steve O'Donnell built surfboards. Declan Wyton, a Manly lifeguard, also studying primary school education.
That equipment looking really sharp under her feet. Alice has had some of the best nose rides that we've seen throughout this event, like the one she's currently perched on. What an incredible locked-in, long hang 5, so large. She has yet to leave it straight through the pocket as that wave is starting to curl down in front of her. She gives that kick to get the leash off of her feet as she goes back up to the nose. And she's really going to need to put this board on rail if she wants to match the scores that we're seeing from Chloe. And that was a heavy section to finish off on. So well composed for that finishing re-entry.
Blue-coloured right-handers peel on that rock shelf against that bright sandstone cliff. TJ up and riding on his second score. He's got a 7.17, holds the 5, gets the 10, streaks through that nose ride, walks into the tail, puts that board on rail, sets himself up high and tight, and soul arches in a nice tight 5.10 with Kai Sallas out back on a 10 as well himself, and TJ just staying busy again, back up for a touch of the 5 and cleanly walking out of lap.
And meanwhile, Alice still riding. So Alice's wave a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more impactful, gives her plenty of opportunity to hang out on the nose of that surfboard. Now she carves it back. Great combo right there for Alice Lemoigne. Still going, still performing. Right in front of the judges now. Why not? Do it again. Alice Lemoigne has to be excited with that wave and gets the graceful pull out. So basically her act from beginning to end. We haven't seen the whole wave, but from what we did see, it may have been pretty flawless. That could be a giant number for Alice Lemoigne. One more time, 5 over. Out the back now, Kelis Caleopaa. Bigger wave, so this was in our top priority heat. And Kelis now could have a little bit of a runner to work with here. If she gets to the nose. As we watch the rest of this wave, you gotta wonder, okay, with so many mid-range scores going through already, what's it gonna take, Wax? We've seen some glorious nose rides, some beautiful turns, you know, some surfing right in the pocket. I feel like Kelis is kind of reiterating the judging criteria right in front of our eyes right now. High-speed section through to the inside.
Wow, this is the best wave of the day by far. That was some amazing surfing there from Cliff.
And she dug the rail on the inside was Taoka, so she was needing at least a 6.23, but Hono has the answer back right here. Goes to the nose. That's some strong stuff right there from the 3-time world longboard champion. Once again, using those rails. Her tempo and pace have always been something that I've really admired. Coming from Haleiwa, over on the north shore of Oahu. A very smart surfer and experienced when it comes to surfing much heavier waves too. Great cross-stepping here, gets in the nose once again. Down carve with a lot of poise and control. once again gets to the nose to finish off this ride cleanly. Honolua Blomfield going to town with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
That might have been an important wave right there, Sam.
I completely agree, Mitch. I mean, she dropped to 6.9 for that last strong score. For me, on instinct, that was going to go even higher than the 6.9. I mean, it kicked off with a very dynamic nose ride.
Welcome back to the Surf City El Salvador Longboard Classic. We've gone coast to coast, Bells Beach to El Tunco, and we are live from El Sunzal. You're watching surfer in white Rachael Tilley. She's got 20 minutes left here in round of 16, heat 8. Heat 7 has now entered the chat as well as Sofia Colhane and Maria Fernanda Reyes. But Rachael Tilley, she is weaving a path of excellence towards the rocks. This wave has been the gift that kept on giving. Back to the nose. Nicely hanging all 10 toes over.
Just under 24 minutes. This is a huge wave here, though, for Kaniela Stewart. Needs to at least try to match the 7-point ride that Ellis Flynn has. Strong nose ride right there in the pocket for Connie.
Wow, what a hang 10 that was. Backed up by a drop knee turn, back up for another nose ride, looking extremely strong. You feel like he's going to get his best score of the heat on this one, Mitch.
You can just tell by his body language right here. He is confident in this one. Still moving through to the inside, touches the 5 once again. The cross-stepping here, the footwork is just beautiful. Goes to the rail surfing right there at the end, and he loves it. Stoked with that one. 24 minutes on the clock. We have a heat on our hands right now. Seems like Connie having a look here underneath the priority of Kai. Straight to the nose once again. Holds the 10 for a long time. Back to the power source of this wave right here. A lot of speed moving down the line. Beautiful cross-step work. Just being able to navigate this wave with the use of the entirety of the board like he does right there is just so amazing. How's that steez and style coming out of the nose ride too?
Wow, great stuff. You get the feeling he's going to get the score he needs, so it could well now come down to a score that Kai Ellis Flint will be chasing. He'll be sitting out there with priority as well, Mitch.
Once again to the 5 for Kaniela Stewart. Tight 5 right there for the surfer from Waikiki on Oahu. And goes for the rail turn at the end. Gotta love the feeling of just finishing a wave like that.
Oh, that was some watermanship. Sugar levels is going to be key if he's going to keep this dream alive.
Score comes through for Silvani. Not enough. It's a 6.73. Focusing now on Connie Tsunami Stewart.
Whoa, what a killer 10 again. Once again demonstrating some of the best hang 10s in the business, Mitch.
And once again gets to the nose right there. He's been able to bring in the variation, though, and the great use of the rail work as we see demonstrated on this one. Tight 5 right here from Connie. In the pocket the entire time, too. How's the smile right there and the nod to somebody paddling back out? I believe it was Cole Robbins. He's just like, what's up, man? Yup, here perched on the nose. Once again, getting an incredible nose ride and an incredible ride all the way to the shoreline for Kaniela Stewart. What a wave, what a performance.
And didn't waste much time either. Kai Sallas, meanwhile, has been dropping hammers. He dropped a 7.57 on his last wave, a 7.33 before that, and he's on his way to another solid score. Through the inside, he's going to get a little racetrack here. Into the foamy section. That tells us this wave is a little bit bigger and a little bit wider out off the point than the previous wave from JR. So now Kai is out.
You mentioned the body shapes of Rogelio and John being quite similar. Well, they are very similar in stature, both being Filipino by ethnicity and using their bodies to their advantage. And someone else who does that is Ben Skinner up in green, one of the largest, heaviest surfers on tour, and doing turns like that, using the advantage of his board and his body, power gouging, and a drop knee carve just to spice things up.
Yeah, Ben Skinner just utilizing every inch of the board so far and every part of this wave. Right here, just taking a little break. There's nothing wrong with that. If the wave isn't giving you, opportunity to dance, just chill. You're not going to get points taken away from you if you have a relaxed approach through the mid portion of the wave. Here things might get interesting through to the inside. He's coming closer and closer to the rocks. You might want to get out of that wave now. Perfect timing for Ben Skinner. Onto the one patch of sand we have on the board.
And this was Soleil's replay. Love this hang 10 in the pocket, using the middle of the board, rising high, carving. So a great transition for Soleil, and she goes up again. So phenomenal surfing here, and surfing that mid-sized wave, which I think are the pick today, really well with style, flow, and grace. And an 8-point ride in the excellent range today. The best wave we have seen so far of the morning. And 2022 reigning world champion Soliel Errico off to a great start here in this quarterfinal. Naturally under a feet. She looks great on it, but catching a chop, this little wind swell that we've got today. And Rachael Tilley, this was the 773. So
this is actually live action.
That's correct.
So the second ride for Tilley, wow, holds the 10 right there. That was nasty. In the pocket, then touches the 5. Once again, gets an incredible nose ride, a tight 5 right there from our 2015 world champion from the US of A, Rachael Tilley. We got a heat on our hands right now in quarterfinal number 3. You mentioned the clash of styles. They've met a lot before coming through the amateur rankings, but as of right now, this is anybody's heat, Matt.
Advantage to Rachael.
Replay of Rachel's third wave, which happened during the break, Mitch. Looks really good because she kicked off with that 7-7-3 and that 8-8-3 and sets herself up nice and high. Soul arch, back up for a second nose ride, holds the 5, keeps her composure, crisp, critical, smooth, elegant footwork, back and forth, in and out of a rail turn into a really nice, high, tight, dynamic hang 10. Great body language there, and this is going to be a really big score, Mitch. Does it rival that 8 and that 7-7-3?
Well, she's clicked into another gear in this heat, I can tell you that, and she's coming up against a very fierce rival in Soliel Errico.
So we'll see what happens for Tony Silvani, but right now all eyes on Kaniela Stewart. Got this wave with priority, straight to the nose, classic soul arch hang 10. Doesn't get much better than that. Now he has to carve back into the power pocket onto the open face. A beautiful hard turn there for Kaniela Stewart. It's almost like he's just telegraphing, waiting to see when he can cross step back to the nose. There's that traditional drop knee turn there through to the inside section. So the inside has been pretty important throughout finals day so far. You know, I think the meat of the score is going to come from that outside section, of course, but there are points still available as you get down into this inside.
Absolutely. I thought his wave selection right here with priority as he gets
like
another 10 on the inside was superb. His positioning in the lineup, Chris, you mentioned him being from Waikiki and this wave really being similar to Queens. He's such a good shortboarder too. I've had the pleasure of surfing with him over at Pipeline, and he's a great backdoor surfer. So if he's able to surf a wave like this that is inconsequential to power when we relate it to somewhere like Pipeline, this is a walk in the park for him.